Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Hi. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Okay, our guest just got here. I guess just got here. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Let me get our guest to join us. Personal style and branding.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm doing good, thank you.
Yeah.
How is
So you can hear me well, right? The connection is
I
good.
can't hear you well.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Hi everyone. Welcome back. Today we have a very interesting topic, and we have a very interesting guest that I'm actually looking forward to having. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and I'm going to let him tell us what he does because obviously we know I talk a lot, so we're going to hand it over to our guest. Would you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what you do so that we can kind of know who you are?
Of course. Yeah. So my name is Fabrice, and so I am actually right now in Vancouver in Canada. And so, first of all, I'm actually pretty amazed that we got connected. And
Definitely.
so, yeah, so I am 29. I'm actually a full-time engineer, but I also run a, style coaching company.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I'm not sure if you want me to elaborate more right away, or are we waiting for
Yeah,
more
please,
people?
please. I need to pull up your questions. I had a class that just finished a few minutes ago, so I need to pull up your questions. But in the meantime, please just tell us a bit more about
Yeah,
what you do.
no worries. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm actually from Mauritius. So it's, for those who don't know, it's an island on the southeast coast of Africa. So I've been in Vancouver for 10 years now. So I came to study engineering, and then decided to stay here and work. And yeah, so it's why I mentioned that, yeah, I'm an engineer because it's actually part of the story of how I got to,
What's your style?
start my style coaching journey.
Huh,
So,
really? Because I
yeah,
think the misconception is that most men who have such rigid careers, for lack of a better term, I'm really sorry, had no other term to call it. For men who have such careers, we feel like they don't really have, they don't know the smallest thing about style. So, what is it with you and engineering and then style as well? What's the case there?
okay, so do you want the long story?
The short version, please.
The short version. Okay, so I'll try to keep it short. So I mean, I grew up in Mauritius. It's in itself it's very multicultural. So um, everybody is I don't know, there is definitely there maybe a different standard compared to here where you focus a lot on how you present yourself when you work or when you go to church and stuff like that. And even there, the culture would also affect, how vibrant we would dress and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So, yeah, so I came here in 2011 and to study engineering. And I remember that right away, some people would tell me that my fashion would be very, what is it? tropical or like too formal. So I guess I'm
Uh-huh.
different, I would say, from the regular maybe engineer that we know here, or when you say those rigid jobs. And
Mm-hmm.
so I tried to adapt myself to that, like to how other people would dress, because at first I was honestly just trying to fit in. And it's true that some of those, I would say, rigid jobs, because sometimes it's very hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
You, maybe presentation is not as important, or you are thinking of more of a practical thing where you're going to work with your hands, work with certain things, so you're just dressing to in the most comfortable thing. Um, but fast forward to when I would say in 2016, when I was working, I was working for this German company here in Vancouver, and it was actually my first time I would say as an engineering student, being among like so many I would say engineers, older engineers, and I felt like I had to prove myself, to prove that I was good at my work and be taken seriously. And
Mm-hmm.
so then I remember even before I started the job, I emailed the HR department and I asked, is there a dress code? Because back home it's like that, like there's a dress code, you have to do that. And so they actually did not respond. And so there I was left. I was like, okay, what am I going to wear on my first day of work? Because I was super young. I was like, okay, um, how do I fit in? But it's actually very interesting how, well, on the first day I showed up in a polo shirt, some nice dog jeans, and some nice shoes. And I'm glad that it was like the most appropriate, I would say, work outfit, because you had two extremes where one guy showed up in a suit, and you have the other guy showing up in sweatpants. And
Yeah.
so it's I'm trying to really make that story short. And so
Mm-hmm.
in the end, what I would say was very interesting is that while I was trying to fit in, I suddenly realized that um, I wanted to be taken, I wanted to be accepted for who I am. That
Mm-hmm.
um, it's true. It's important that, first impression is, a big part of everything we do. But I don't want to be just someone else or use clothing as my shield to pretend
Mm-hmm.
that I am, a different person than I am. And so that's why I embarked on that journey of really figuring out who I am before, figuring out my style. And
Mm-hmm.
but that was as a student. And so I would say, yeah, that's where my style journey started. But how beau.gent itself started, it was actually fast forward to 2000 and 2018. I graduated from engineering. I started this engineering job, which I didn't like at first, to be honest. And I remember talking to this priest friend who said that, I mean, who I told, hey, I'm not liking my job. Should I leave? I don't know how to discern this. It's been only 2 months. He's like, no, no, no. 2 months, it's too soon for you to really discern properly whether you should leave your job or not. Sometimes a job will feel like it's just there to put, food on the table, a roof over your head, and as long as you're not miserable. But then his advice was actually find something after work that you can look forward to. And
Mm-hmm.
so here I was just thinking about, okay, what can I do? What can I do that's like fun that I can look forward to after work? But I took it up a notch where I was like, well, let me see if I can make money doing that fun thing that
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do. And so I was talking to my best friend. I was like, well, I don't know what I can do. And here my best friend is like, hey, you've been helping a lot of us guys with our outfits for interviews, for like dates, for events. Why don't you consider doing that as a business? And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah. And then after that, I really started to figure out if, if it was something that people would actually need, because it's easy for friends to say, yeah, you're good at this, start a business,
Yeah, yeah.
but are people actually going to pay for this? That's where I started. Yeah.
Right.
So
I
that's the
like how
whole
you
thing.
mentioned that I like how you mentioned that you helped your friends with picking outfits for dates as well, because I think the biggest misconception is just that it's only women who should care about how they look. But that's not the case, because we know that men need to have a good sense of style. I mean, speaking for myself and a couple of other ladies that I know, if you look at a man and he does not look presentable, it is a problem. It's just a big problem. And I wish more guys understood the fact that, what you actually wear goes a long way in, allowing the other person to listen to you. So I think my question would be, how can we clear up the misconception that dressing up or dressing well is a woman thing? Like, people seem to classify it as a very feminine thing to do, but it's a it's a human thing. Like, men
Mhm.
and women should try and put effort into how they look. So, like, just as we dive into this, just a quick response. How can we, clear this misconception up?
Yeah, so I mean, I've definitely heard it too. I've heard people
Mm,
saying that, yeah, it seems like it's a feminine thing. I believe that it all comes from this, I would say, societal norm or belief that um, men are supposed to be the provider, and you
mm,
often see men, like we talked about, those rigid jobs, and that
mm,
they feel like this is all that matters, and women are actually the ones who are supposed to, well, thankfully, this has changed, by the way, before I'm going to say it. Um, there was like that belief that women are supposed to be the one who just look pretty and almost do nothing, but I don't know if I want to say that, but it's um, I believe, well, men are definitely attracted to a woman who looks like she takes care of herself. But what men don't know is that women are also attracted to men who look like they can take care of themselves, other than,
exactly.
the big jobs that they have and all that. Yeah, so I think that's where it comes from. And I've talked to some girls, and I'm sure you can add on to that. Like, some of my female friends would say that they can definitely notice when, someone has a fresh haircut or is using
Mm-hmm.
some cologne, like something. It even speaks to the hygiene, to the fact that, they
Yes.
know how to take care of themselves. Yeah.
Yes, and I think, just to add on, I realized that it's always the guys who don't dress well who want the women who dressed the best. Like, it's always the guys who just don't have the slightest clue, or just who don't put effort into how they look, who want the women who dress like they're coming out for fashion magazine, and it makes no sense to me. So, yeah, thank you for pointing that out from a guy. It's really appreciated. Okay, so my next question would be, okay, you've already mentioned that brand image is everything. Um, so how essential is it for a man to look organized and put together through the clothes he picks out? Like, is it just something he can do if he wants to do, or is it something he must do, or is it something he can just forget about? How essential is it for,
Yeah.
a man?
Well, before I answer this question, I want to say that, well, us having this conversation, or just for whole style coaching, it's not really for, we are not here to really, I would say, judge someone on their style and how they look and all that. But it's really like
Mm-hmm,
teaching them that first impression matters. Whether
mm-hmm,
you like it or not, somebody's going to make an opinion of who you are. And so that's why for me, I would say that style matters. But now it's very easy for you to wear something again to fit in, or to use it as a shield, or to, pretend to be somebody that you're not. But what I really want style to be is an expression of who you are. And so for me, I found that as I was growing in style, I was actually really growing in my identity and my confidence.
mm-hmm.
And I really learned to embrace my personality. And so through what I wear, I would showcase that. Yeah, so I think it's essential. And so it goes, I mean, it's easy to see it in situations like a job interview, a first
Mhm.
date, or even at parties. Like, I guess you could say that it could be a blessing or a curse that ever since I started beau.gent, I've had a lot of uh, maybe female friends or female followers telling me that, you know, they like some guys or they've started noticing, some guys. And it's actually, I'm not trying to brag about my work, but these guys on their own have started to put effort in their looks and they are
Yes,
being noticed. But of
yes.
course, let's make sure that they don't do it just for the girls, but it's more so
Mm.
like for them, like to really express their personality confidently. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like there's this problem, there's this misconception with men that they think you can get a girl so long, you spend money on her. But part of it is, okay, you spent money on this person, but do they want to be seen in public with you? Do I want to be seen in public with you? With the way you look, yeah, you're spending money on me, but with the way you look, do I want to be seen in public with you? So it's not just, like dressing to impress the girls or anything like that. It's also part of you as a person. Can you express yourself through the clothing pieces that you actually wear? So
hmm Yeah. I'm actually like very interested to hear the female perspective because as a man, it's easy for me to make assumptions as to,
mm,
you know, how I am seeing or how men are seeing. But like, yeah, it's very interesting to hear, on your side or your experiences. Yeah. hmm
what would you like to hear exactly?
So,
Make it
so,
quick.
so maybe expand on what you mentioned about um, because okay, there's something that I can definitely say or I've heard is that some women will tell me that okay, before they started dating a guy, like the guy would work out, would take care of his style and all that, and a few months after they've been dating, the guy suddenly starts to not care much about
Mm,
his outfit or how he presents himself. And so
mhm.
you were touching on that, I would say, where you were saying that okay, the guy may get the girl, but the girl may not want to be seen with a guy. How important or like are there like specific scenarios that you've experienced yourself where you're like, oh, yeah, the
Yeah,
guy's not putting
definitely.
effort or
I'll speak for myself. I know that I might not, I mean, people are different, so obviously not everyone is going to feel the same way that I do, but I will speak for myself. There was a particular person that I was really interested in, and we were dating, and I noticed gradually that the effort he put into how he looks just plummeted. So from putting effort into how he looked, how he smelled, how he just looked put together, and he didn't have to try too much at the beginning to show me that he was interested in being on a date because if I'm a woman, well, I'm a woman, so obviously I put in time into how I look before I go on a date. I want
hmm
to know that in the same way that I've prepared for this, you've put an effort into this. So that's pretty
mm,
much it. So it's not just I want to look good. It's I'm looking good, not just for you, for me also, but I'm trying to show you how important this date was by
mm,
making sure I look good. I expect the very same respect from you to put a bit of effort into how you look. So it's very, very important to me. If I find out later on that, okay, we have moved away from, babe, oh my gosh, you look good, to, okay, you can't just keep rotating the same pair of pants today and tomorrow without even washing it. Because I think at the heart of it is not just, like you said, it's a hygiene issue. It's not just, okay, he looks good. At times you can have very few pieces, but wear them really well. With some
mm.
guys, it's the pieces are dirty. It's just so it's very essential. I think for me and for a few other people that I know, it's very essential that even after, like long after we start dating, you still look good because at the heart of it, what you attracted me with is exactly what's going to keep me there. So if I notice
Mm.
now you're just burgers and flops and nothing else, I'm gonna be
So I
like,
guess
okay, let me.
yeah. So I guess you would rather have somebody who is authentic from the beginning, and
Mm.
they're authentic, but they also make an effort and consistently make an effort in just taking care of themselves or showing
Yeah.
up to dates or whatever it is. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's I these are actually two, I would say, two of the values that I share with my business, like consistency, authenticity. Um,
Mm.
yeah, because there's no point in you wanting to even like you know care about your style if your intentionality is wrong from the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Mm. That I love that. I love that. It all goes down to the intention. Like, are you looking good
Hmm.
because of the skull, or are you looking good because you're trying to win her over, or are you looking good because at the heart of it you believe that hygiene is important? But anyway, my next question. Can I move on to the next question?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. How can a man begin to consciously put effort into his look? What are some of the steps that a guy can follow if they want to come up with a new look? Let's say there's a
Hmm.
guy who's going to watch the playback, who's going to hear this and then figure out, oh my gosh, my style sense is a bit off. Or a guy who's going to think, maybe I want a new look. Maybe I just want to spritz things a little bit and I want something different. I just want a fresh, crisp look. What are some of the really realistic steps that this person can take in achieving their new look?
Hmm. Yeah, and so um, you're actually like mentioning, I would say, two different groups of people that I work with. So you have the curious who's new on the style journey and maybe doesn't know what to do, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have the stylish who actually wants to keep upgrading their style. And so um, I would say for me, the steps it applies to everybody where we've talked about intentionality, where okay, you need to have a reason why you want to do it. Okay, because just the same way that you're starting, working out and all that, like your motivation will fade at some point. Like you have to know why you're doing something and um, yeah, because you don't want to be that guy who is like, okay, today I'm gonna wear something really nice for this girl, and later on, no. Now the other thing too is um, it's easy to remain in our comfort zone, and um, you have to accept that as you start your style journey, maybe what you'll put together won't look good.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying out a new color and you don't know if it works with your color palette. You're trying it out. Oh, okay, it didn't work out. Or like matching two patterns or things like that. So um, get out of your comfort zone. Try something new and see what you like, see what works for you, and and understand also what kind of style you're going for. What's something that you're drawn to? Some people are more drawn to the preppy look, the minimal look, streetwear, and all that. Um, so, yeah, have an idea of what you want. And it doesn't hurt anyone to ask for a second opinion. Um,
Mm.
you know, it could be me. I mean, I'm here. You can find me on my
Okay.
website, but also like ask, somebody who you maybe look up to, you know that that person has a good sense of style to help you out. Even as a style coach, I always ask for second opinion from a good friend, or even my
Mhm.
mom, because my mom is actually very stylish. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that you have to start somewhere until you know what you like, and then it becomes natural for you to just gravitate towards the different uh, pieces. And and maybe the last tip that I can think of is always start with the basics. It's easy to follow trends. It's easy to um, I don't know, to want to buy even like the most expensive thing, but sometimes all you just need is that well-tailored pair of pants, a t-shirt, and then add some shoes. Then start to swap. Maybe with those pair of pants, what other shirts, can I wear? Yeah.
I love how you say that because like I know certain guys. I'm not gonna say no names, but I know certain guys who actually spend a lot of money on buying pieces, like clothing pieces, but when they wear them, they just don't look good. And I'm just there sitting and wondering, you could have spent half of the amount you spent and probably looked better. I'm not saying that from a condescending point. No, 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 that is not my intention at all. What I'm just saying is at times we just need to remember it's not how much we spend on the item itself, it's just how you pair it together with the items that you have already. So I know for some guys who probably watch this, they'll just think, I don't have the money for a new closet. But that's not it. Or am I wrong? Am I right?
You're right. Because, like I said, all you need sometimes is just start your wardrobe with classics. You know, every guy looks good in I would say, navy pair of pants,
Mm-hmm.
or even dark jeans. Start with that, and then, um, just get maybe a nice crisp white shirt and stuff like that. So buy things that are timeless because again, like when you buy like trendy pieces,
Mm-hmm.
the trends are seasonal. Like you buy something today, it looks good, but after 2 seasons, it's not. I have clothes that are 6 years old, but they're good quality and they are timeless, and I'm still wearing them. And you probably won't think that I've owned them for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I feel like capsule items are almost the same for men and women
Yes.
because even for so I think a good starting point if you have a girlfriend and you don't have the slightest idea, asking your girlfriend could be something helpful. If, like you said, you ask your mom. So if you have a female in your life who kind of has a hang around, like clothing and all that, then you could just ask her for help because even when you're talking about the jeans, the blue jeans and the white shirt thing, we also have the very same capsule items.
Hmm.
I think guys benefit from this, to be honest. Can I move on to the next question?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I have friends. I actually had a friend. Um, he would go out and buy clothing. And then like he could see a shirt, buy the shirt, he could see a pair of jeans, buy the pair of jeans. But he just didn't know how to pair these things together, you know. He didn't know how to pair these things together. So at the end of the day, he would feel like he had nothing to wear, which
Hmm.
is also a female problem. But I mean, just in particular, like talking about men, I know men who say, I've got clothing pieces, but I have nothing to wear. So what would be the best way to navigate that? Should they also go on Pinterest and save things up? Should they get a style coach? Should they just take a magazine, do cutouts, and create a vision board? What should they do? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, what should these guys
Well,
do?
first, like, I hope they know exactly what's in their wardrobe already, because I would say do an inventory of what you have in your wardrobe and
Mm,
and be aware of what you have. And so, because sometimes too, like you said, like people, we may buy like things as separate pieces and all that, and it honestly starts to create clutter in your wardrobe. So you see a whole lot of things, but you don't know where to start. Sort that.
mm,
Be aware of what you have. Maybe there are things that you want to give away, or there's even that new concept that my business mentor actually introduced me to. Like she does something called a clothing swap, where they organize a group, whether it's like a group of friends over Facebook, and
mm.
they set a date, a place, and they meet up and they trade just like exchange different clothes. But it
Oh,
might be a little bit harder for men because men are not used to doing that.
that
But
thing.
I'm hoping to start that in my in my city here.
Mm-hmm.
But through that, she's able to find a lot of she's able to like rotate through different outfits by doing clothing swaps. Um, but also, yeah, like you said, For me, I would say Pinterest is my best friend because I may have, let's say I want to go to an event and I know I want to wear my dog jeans. I literally look up dog jeans, men's outfit, and there's a whole suggestion, that comes up. And I create a board. I just add that there, and then I create an outfit. And by also doing an inventory, you are able to see the gaps in your wardrobe and you can make a list. Okay, later when I save up a bit, I can buy, this thing that I'm missing instead of just buying I forget the term, but like you just see something, you buy it because you're like, oh, I might be able to use it later. But when you have a list and you budget for it, it makes it easier. Um, yeah.
True.
And also I'm not sure where you are. I'm sure you guys have like thrift stores or secondhand
No, we don't have
stores.
thrift stores. We have an application where you can buy pre-loved items. So
Mm,
obviously, because China, thrift stores, not so. It's not a very common concept over here.
mhm,
So
mhm.
no. Someone else just said I feel like they should invest more in shares, and they can just repeat jeans. Girl, man's fashion be so simple. I'm like, I get you, and
I
I
agree.
get this. I get it. Yes, please continue. So sorry about
Um,
that.
yeah, no worries. Yeah, so because here we have this concept of thrift stores where sometimes, again, because people tend to buy things that are very seasonal and not, I mean, and trendy, they would often wear it maybe a couple times for one season and then just give it to a thrift store. And so you can find some really high quality pieces that match your style. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how sometimes I even got like a very nice gray blazer that I was able to wear for a wedding and at a very cheap price. But yeah, like our friend there was saying, buy, I would say, timeless pieces, buy jeans, and then maybe rotate with like different colors of shirts. That's a good place to start.
Mm-hmm. I actually, for some unknown reason, I tend to create Pinterest boards for whoever I'm dating at the time. Not that I've had so many boyfriends. No, that's not it. That's not what we're getting. My point is, I have gone through my Pinterest and realized I created Pinterest boards for these male friends of mine, and I realized, they could just do this because I'm not like being paid to be a personal stylist. That's a service that I'm not paid for. So I totally get you. And I feel like you need to push the message out there that men need to use Pinterest. Like, it's not a female application. It's not some, oh, girls just like to look for pictures. It's,
You know what? I feel like I get a sense that maybe, yeah, a lot of men don't know that it's out there, that they can use it. And I feel like women tend to be drawn to community whenever, like, at least for me, the perception that I get whenever women go shopping, they tend to like, do it with other people. But guys would often do it on their own, so they don't get to know those different, apps or tips and all that. And so, yeah, I'm doing my best to to share all
get
my
the words
different
out
tips,
there.
get the
Yes.
word out there. Um, yeah, for that.
I think they'll appreciate it. We'll keep pushing this live out there. Someone said add more colorful shirts in the closet. I mean, a black tee is a winner, but damn. Sometimes you just gotta wear a white tee and some blue tee and blue tee, some bright color. Red looks beautiful on man too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, so long the color goes with your skin tone, because there's also that issue.
Exactly. Hmm.
You want to pick a color that actually goes with your skin tone.
Yeah. Yeah, something to know. So that's also again like another thing that men don't know. So I feel like women, it's almost like you go through this. maybe it's again an assumption from me. Like you go through this stage of life where you discover different things. So you learn about your skin tone. Is it the warm tone, the cool tone? Maybe because you try out
Or
makeup,
buy
like
makeup.
what exactly, like what looks good on you, what doesn't look good on you. But guys don't go through that. And so that's definitely something that I teach to guys because, for example, for me, if I were to wear bright red, it would not look good. But something like this that's like more like a brown or like a burgundy looks better with my skin tone. Um, so you can yeah, go to somebody who knows about I would say yeah, your skin undertone, or you can
Mm-hmm.
try things out and see what works. Or there's even that little test that I do with my clients to help them figure out what's their skin undertone. We won't have time to talk about all of this right now, but yeah, it's definitely something they can figure out with a bit of help. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I hope some guys actually, I hope more guys watch the playback so that they learn all of this because, to be honest, I feel like I just wish men also put effort into how they look. Because for me, it's just irritating that it's always the ones who don't like to put effort into how they look who want the best women. Like, how are you going to be there with her if you don't want to put effort into how you look? So yeah, I think this was quite informational. Thank you very much. I don't know. Do you have something to add on? Just something you just got as we were discussing.
Um, no, I think for me it's a lot of encouragement because I think now a lot of men are actually paying attention to all these things, and I don't want to just discourage them and say that yeah, hey, all most men don't do that, but I applaud them. Like maybe when we see men who maybe they are wearing things that don't match, it's because they are trying to get out of their comfort zone and trying something, and so. I'm very happy to see that. And so keep going, but feel free to ask for a second opinion. And if I can plug myself quickly, as I say
Please.
this, yes, so you can find me, find my website. It's, www.beau, so boy is spelled BEAU, .gent, Gent. So there's no .com or .ca at the end. It's just beau.gent. Um,
Can you
yeah,
say that
and
one more time,
yes,
please?
so beau, BEAU, .gent. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's actually yeah, the name of my business. And so beau actually means handsome and gent
Mm,
for gentleman. And so I
mm,
wanted to mix um, my background being French and English together. Yeah, and so another thing I wanted to say is that yeah, all my I mean all except for one style consultation package is available online and in person. So we can work across the world, and I'm actually excited to be able to connect with people who are, I would say, from everywhere. So
mhm,
you will see, yes, some of my style consultation packages, even a style guide, which is only $20. It's a good starter
mhm,
for people who just want to figure stuff out on their own. And there is also the gift of style package, sorry, gift of style campaign that I started for, maybe people like you who have friends who, may want to get into style, but they need a little push, maybe they buy, if
mhm.
you were to purchase that for them, they
The
would want
perfect
to.
Christmas present for that guy who just needs a
Exactly.
bit of help.
Thank you.
That's
Um,
it.
but hey, even as a gentleman, treat yourself to the gift of style this year. Like, why
Yes.
not? Yeah.
Yes. I feel like that's the heart of it. You've just hit a very you've struck a nerve that we need to just dash on a bit for just before you go. I feel like at the heart of it, just across style, whether it's just for men or for women, there is the gift of there's the issue of the gift of self. Like, do you see yourself as a gift? Because if you see yourself as a gift, you will definitely put effort into taking care of yourself, both intrinsically and externally. So I feel like guys have been, I don't know, I think it's just an upbringing matter with society and all that. We tell our guys that they don't matter that much, or that they don't need to put in some effort into how they look that much because it's a woman thing. Or when a guy looks good, we start to tell him that, oh, he's being gay. Or when, like, we have these
Mm-hmm.
ways of putting down men in ways that eventually they realize, hey, maybe I don't, maybe I'm just gonna stay away. So I
Yeah.
feel like if there's women who are going to watch this later on, is this kind of our duty as well to just reassure the guys that they can look good and not feel bad about it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. I
they
mean,
are a gift as well. I feel like you guys not told how much of a gift you are so many times, so that you actually end up forgetting that you are a gift. You are a gift.
th
So dear brother, you are a
th thank
gift.
you, thank you for saying that because yeah, it's true. Like we grow up as boys, think being told that we have to work hard, we have to work to provide. But even for me, after working for 3 years, I'm realizing how much it's important for me to take care of myself, whether it's my
Yes.
physical health, mental health, and just like do the little things, to take care of my body. It's a
Mhm.
God-given, gift
Yes.
that it's important for me to take care of that. As long as it doesn't become vain. I mean, that's why I talk
Mhm.
about intentionality. Know why
Mm.
you're doing something. Yeah.
That vanity thing is actually not just a woman thing. I know this is not a woman struggle. It's a struggle across the sexes. Like, men can be vain too. We just don't say it enough, so we think maybe it's a bit weird. But you know what? Thank you so much for coming on. It was such an honor to have you here. I'm so grateful you decided to come on.
Thank you so much. Honestly, it's such a beautiful opportunity to be able to talk to you about this. And it's actually my first live, so I was a little bit nervous, but I'm so glad we had a beautiful
Ooh.
conversation. Yeah, and well, thanks a lot to everyone who joined. It's really beautiful, yeah, that we
I
got to
think
do
the
this.
time zones are just a bit sketchy, so most people will go back
Yeah,
and watch it when they wake up and all that. But all the same, thank you so much, and I hope some of the guys are going to watch this actually decide to end up consulting with you just to get things started. Get things started. What payment methods do you take?
so I take well, Visa, MasterCard, and also I do PayPal. I'm not sure if you guys have PayPal. Yeah, so it's all, yeah, online, the usual ones, the usual credit cards. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, no problem. Well then, thank you so much once again. I hope you have a good night and a restful and blessed week as you go into the new week.
Thank you so much. All right, have a good one.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Boy More TV. I hope I said your name right. Boy. Okay, you know what? Let me not. Let me not. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.